Hello, how are you guys? Today, we will discuss the lesson 14 of the MANABU online textbook. And if you want to know more about this lesson, make sure to watch my grammar lesson video on our YouTube channel. So let's begin. So before anything else, let's discuss the verb groups. So in Japanese language, verbs are divided into 3 groups. So the first group, or the group 1, the last sound of the must form is from the E column or the E sound characters. If we remove the must, the last characters have E sounds. Like the first verb, kaimasu. If you remove mas, kai. So the last character is E. Next, kakimasu. Let's remove the mas, kaki. So it's E sound. So all of these verbs, if the mas is removed, all the last characters have the E sound characters. So once again, the characteristics of the group 1 verbs, if the mas is removed, the last characters are E sound characters. Now for the group 2 verbs. Group 2 verbs, the last sound of the mas form is from the E column, or they have E sounds. E sounds. So for example, the first verb is oshiemasu. If we remove the mas, oshie. So E sound, oshie. Next, akemasu, ake. So all of them has E sound characters when the mas is removed. But there are verbs that has E sound characters when the mas is removed, but they belong to group 2. So they are called special verbs. So please memorize all these verbs. Imas, ochimas, orimas, karimas, tarimas, abimas, mimas. Next, ikimas, okimas, kimas, dekimas, sugimas, kanjimas, shinjimas, tojimas. So if we remove the mas, the last characters have E sounds, but they belong to group 2 verb or special verbs. Now for the group 3 verbs, these are nouns plus shimasu. So shimasu means to do. It means to do the action stated by the noun. So first example is benkyou shimasu, to study. Benkyou is a noun. It means study plus shimasu, benkyou shimasu, to study. Now the other meaning of the word shimasu means to play. If the verb stated by the noun is sports. For example, basketball wo shimasu. Next, tennis wo shimasu. Tennis wo shimasu. Tennis plus shimasu means to play tennis. So take note that there are 2 kimasu verbs in Japanese. The group 3 verb kimasu means to come. The other kimasu is group 2, means to wear a shirt, kimasu. The verbs in Japanese language can be conjugated or can be transformed into different forms. Then adding various phrases to the conjugated form of that verb creates sentences with various meanings. So now, let's learn how to conjugate verbs or transform verbs into their te form or the te form of the verbs. So first, let's start from the group 1 verbs. So the te form of the verbs depends on which group the verb belongs. So now for the group 1 verbs, if the last character is I, chi, or ri, we replace the I, chi, and ri with chisai tsu or small tsu, then te. So for example, the verb kaimas means to buy, kaimas. Remove mas, so we will have kai, and the last character is I. Replace I with small tsu te, it will become katte. Next, machimasu, to wait, machi, it will become matte, matte. Next, suwarimasu, suwari, suwatte. Next, kairimasu, to go home, kairi, kaite, kaite. Next, for the group 1 that ends in bi, mi, and ni, we will replace bi, mi, and ni with nde, nde. So for example, the verb yobimasu, to call. So replace bi with nde, yonde, yonde. Next, nomimasu, nonde. Next, yomimasu, yomi, yonde. Next, shinimasu, shinimasu, to die, shinde, shinde. Now for the group 1 verbs that ends in ki, let's remove the ki and replace it with ite. Ite. And group 1 verbs that ends in gi, replace the gi with ide. Ide. So, for example, kakimasu, kaite, kaite. Next one, isogimasu, to hurry, isogi, isoide, isoide. Next, nugimasu, nugimasu, to take off, nuide, nuide. So there is an exception. The verb ikimasu, ikimasu means to go, so it's a group 1 verb. Ikimasu becomes itte. So remember, it's an exception. Now for the group 1 verbs that ends in shi, do not remove the shi but add te to it. For example, keshimasu, to turn off, keshimasu, keshi, add te, it will become keshite, keshite. Next verb, kashimasu, kashi, add te, kashite. Next one, hanashimasu, hanashi, hanashite, hanashite. Now for the group 2 verbs, simply remove the mas and add te to create the te form of the group 2 verbs. So for example, oshiemas, oshiete, tabemas, tabete, akemas, akete, mimas, mite, okimas, okite. As well as the special verbs, just remove mas and add te as long as they belong to group 2 verbs. Now for the group 3 verbs, let's start from the group 3, kimas, means to come. Remove mas and add te, kite. Next, the noun o shimas, just remove mas from shimas and add te. So for example, benkyou shimasu, benkyou shite, benkyou shite. Now for the lesson 14 sentence patterns. Number 1, chotto matte kudasai. Chotto matte kudasai. So chotto means for a moment. Then the verb machimasu. Machimasu is group 1 verbs, machi, chi. So do you remember the te form of machimasu? It ends in chi, machi. So replace chi with small chu te. It will become matte. Then add kudasai. We can translate the word kudasai as please. So matte, please wait. Matte kudasai. So basically, when the verb is in te form, it is used to commanding someone to do something. Matte, wait. Then add kudasai, matte kudasai, please wait. Number 2, nimotsu o mochimashou ka? Nimotsu o mochimashou ka? So nimotsu o, particle o. Nimotsu means luggage. Then the particle o, to make the word nimotsu as our object for the verb mochimasu. Mochimasu means to carry or hold. So in this sentence, it means to carry. Mochimasu. When the verb is in masho form, it is used as when the speaker is offering something or offering to do something for the listener. So if you want to do something for someone as an offer, as a help, you will change mas to mashoka. So, shall I carry your bag? Nimotsu o mochimashou ka? Next, number 3. Jeffrey-san wa ima denwa o kakete imasu. Jeffrey-san wa ima denwa o kakete imasu. So when the verb is in te form plus imas, it means present tense or currently doing. So in this example, denwa o kakete imasu, right now is making a phone call. Denwa o kakete imasu. So for example, remember the group 1 verb nomimasu means to drink. Nonde plus imasu means drinking. So for example, kohi o nonde imasu. Drinking coffee. Now for the lesson 14 example sentences. Number 1, boropen de namae o kaite kudasai. Boropen de namae o kaite kudasai. Hai, wakarimashita. Hai, wakarimashita. So boropen de, this is the tools and particle de. Tools or the means used by the verb. So using ball pen, namae o kaite kudasai. From the verb kakimasu means to write. So namae o kakimasu, write your name. Then kaite kudasai, please write your name. So once again, boropen de using ball pen. Namayo kaite kudasai. Please write your name. Hai, wakarimashita. Yes, understood. Number 2. Sumimasen ga kono kanji no yumikata o oshiete kudasai. Sumimasen ga kono kanji no yumikata o oshiete kudasai. Jushou desu yo. Jushou desu yo. So the phrase sumimasen ga is used to get someone's attention or as a way of excuse. Excuse me, sumimasen ga kono kanji no yomikata. So the word yomikata from the verb yomimasu means to read, and yomi kata, it means how to read or way of reading. Kono kanji no yomikata, how to read this kanji o oshiete kudasai. Please teach me or please tell me how to read this kanji. Jushou desu yo. It's Jushou. So Jushou means address. Number 3. Atsui desu ne. Mado o akimashou ka? Sumimasen. Onegai shimasu. So someone said, Atsui desu ne. So hot. Mado o akimashou ka? So he is offering to do something for the other person as a favor. And the other person said, Sumimasen. Oh, yes or sorry. Onegai shimasu, please. Yes, please. Number 4. Eki made mokai ni ikimashou ka? Takushi de ikimasu kara kekkou desu. So the person said, Eki made, to the station. Mukai ni ikimashou ka? Mukae, from the verb mukaemasu, to meet someone. Particle ni ikimasu. Do you remember our previous lesson? The purpose of going, particle ni ikimasu. So, the purpose of going to the station is to meet someone. Next, takushi de ikimasu kara kekkou desu. Kekkou desu means it's fine or thank you. And the reason is takushi de ikimasu kara, because I'm going by taxi, so no need to fetch me. Number 5. Sato-san wa doko desu ka? Ima, kaigishitsu de Ito-san to hanashite imasu. Ja, mata ato de kimasu. So the first line is, Sato-san wa doko desu ka? He's looking for Miss Sato. Where is Miss Sato? And the other person replied, Ima, right now. Kaigishitsu de. Kaigishitsu means meeting room, and particle de because it's the place of action. Next, Ito-san to hanashite imasu. So the verb hanashimasu means to talk, and the person you are talking to, you will attach the particle to. So in this case, Ito-san to with Ito-san. Hanashite imasu, talking. So the verb hanashimasu, the te form of hanashimasu is hanashite plus imasu, it means currently talking. Third line, ja, okay. Mata ato de kimasu. Mata ato de means later. Kimasu, I'll come again later. And number 6, ame ga futte imasu ka? Ame ga futte imasu ka? Next line, iie, futte imasen. Iie, futte imasen. So someone asked, ame ga futte imasu ka? From the verb furimasu. Ame ga furimasu, to rain. Futte imasu means raining. So we added the particle ka to make it a yes or no question. Is it raining? Yes or no? Then the other person replied, iie, no. Futte imasen. So the negative form or the opposite of futte imasu is imasen. Futte imasen. It's not raining. So now, please watch our lesson 14 conversation video.
Lecture までですか？
緑町までお願いします。
はい。
すみません。信号を右へ曲がってください。
右ですね。まっすぐですか？
Masugo ite kudasai. Hanaya no mae de tomete kudasai.
はい1800円です。
これでお願いします。
3200円のお釣りです。ありがとうございました。
Lesson 14, exercise A. So now once again, let's learn how to conjugate the verbs into te form. So let's start from the group 1 verbs. The first verb is kakimasu. Kaki, replace ki with ite, kaite. Next line, ikimasu. So remember that ikimasu is an exception. The te form of the verb ikimasu means to go is itte. Next, isogimasu, to hurry. Isoide, isoide. Remove gi with ide. Next line, nomimasu, to drink. Replace mi with nde. So it will become nonde. Next, yobimasu, yobi, yonde. Kairimasu, kairi, kaite. Replace ri with small two te. Next, kaimasu, katte. Machimasu, matte. Kashimasu, kashite. Now for the group 2 verbs, just simply remove mas and add te. For example, tabemas, tabete. Nemas, nete. Okimas, which is a special verb, remove mas and add te, okite. Karimas, also a special verb, remove mas and add te, karite. Mimas, mite. Imas, ite. Group 3 verbs, kimas, to come, the te form is kite. Shimas, shite. Sangpo shimas, sangpo shite. Next, number 1, these are example sentences for the pattern, the verb te kudasai. Sumimasen ga shi o totte kudasai. Excuse me, please get the salt. From the verb torimasu, shi o torimasu, to get the salt. Totte kudasai, please get the salt for me. Next line, sumimasen ga denwa bango o oshiete kudasai. Denwa bango o oshiete kudasai. So denwa bango, telephone number, particle o. Oshiemasu, to teach or to tell the telephone number. Then oshiete kudasai, please tell me or please teach me. Next, dozo taksang tabete kudasai. Dozo taksang tabete kudasai. Please eat a lot. Next, dozo yukkuri yasundi kudasai. The word yukkuri literally means slowly. So yukkuri yasundi kudasai. Please take your time to take a rest. Number 2, Jeffrey-san wa ima ripoto o yonde imasu. Jeffrey-san wa ima ripoto o yonde imasu. So from the verb ripoto o, yomimasu, yomi, yonde. Plus imasu, it means currently reading. Next, Jeffrey-san wa terebi o mite imasu. From the verb mimasu, to look, to watch, or to see. Terebi o mite imasu, watching TV. Next line, Jeffrey-san wa ima nihongo o benkyou shite imasu. Nihongo o benkyou shite imasu. From the verb nihongo o benkyou shimasu, to study Japanese. So benkyou shimasu, benkyou shite imasu, studying Japanese. So the interrogative, Jeffrey-san wa ima nani o shite imasu ka? Nani o shite imasu ka? So this interrogative sentence is used to ask someone, what are you doing? Or what is someone doing? Nani o shite imasu ka? So that's all for this lesson, guys. Make sure to visit our YouTube channel for more lesson videos. Dewa minasan, benkyou gambatte ne.